Chapter 11. She stared at him in shock, taking several moments to process what he had just said. "What? I don't want to be with you anymore," Ken repeated. "I don't love you anymore." She stared at him, body frozen. "What?" she said again. How could you say that?" "I've come to realize," Ken spoke slowly, "marrying you is not what I want." "But why?" Alyssa whispered, tears brimming in her eyes then. "How could you say such a thing?" she said, beginning to cry. "Why? What have I done?" Ken stared at her with a flat expression. He had never made her cry before, and before this day would have tried to comfort her. But he came to realize, as he watched the tears rolling down her cheek, that he truly felt nothing for her. He did not love her, not anymore. He began even to doubt whether or not he loved her at all in the first place. "But we're supposed to get married," Alyssa sobbed, crying into her hands. "Why? What have I done? This isn't you. Things were going so well. How could you say this to me?" She tensed then, glancing up at him, suddenly frozen. "Is there someone else?" she asked him in a quiet voice. Ken tensed slightly then, furrowing his brow at her. She slapped him then, hitting him hard. Ken's cheek burned as he turned back to face her. "I hate you," she hissed through gritted teeth, before turning on her heel and storming away. Ken stared after her, staring at the back of her head as he watched her go. He turned and walked away. Ken sat on a bench in the park somewhere else, crying silently as he leant forward, elbows resting on his knees. This was a quieter part of the park now, where few people walked by. He thought he would not be bothered here, but he was wrong. "Ken?" The tentative voice was one he knew all too well. Ken wiped his eyes with the back of his hand, turning to face Mustang, who stood behind him. "Why are you crying?" Ken gave a humorless laugh, turning away from him. "Are you following me now?" he said glumly. "Ha!" Mustang laughed. "Don't flatter yourself." "What are you doing here anyway?" Ken asked him flatly, turning away from him and staring ahead again. "I was just visiting the graveyard." "What?" Mustang didn't answer. "Did someone you love die?" Ken asked tentatively. "No," Mustang answered, standing behind him still. "Then why would you go there?" The light breeze rustled the leaves of the tree hanging over him, the fallen leaves dancing around his feet. Ken turned around and saw that Mustang was gone. "Why do I feel like our paths are intertwined?" Ken mumbled to himself, facing ahead again. Ken bowed his head, left alone to brood in silence. That evening, when he sat with his family for a meal, he felt extremely uncomfortable, something he had never felt before around his family. He could feel their eyes upon him as they ate, constantly flickering towards him. Ken felt sick as he forced himself to continue eating his food until all of it was gone. When his mother had cleared the plates away, she spoke to him at last. The entire meal prior to this had been in complete silence. "Have you spoken to Alyssa?" she asked him bluntly. Ken's heart skipped a beat as he forced himself to look her in the eye. "No," he answered, trying to sound calm. "Why not?" Ken bowed his head, avoiding her gaze. "Why?" his mother demanded. "Why haven't you spoken to her?" "I don't know," Ken answered quickly. I don't know." "You're supposed to marry Alyssa," his mother spoke harshly. "What happened? Why have you suddenly changed your mind?" Ken stared at his mother uncertainly. "Why are you so desperate for us to be together?" Ken asked her. "It's my life." "I only want what's best for you," his mother said to him. "Then why don't you let me make my own choices?" His mother fell silent, biting her tongue. Ken, with increasing trepidation, saw how livid she was, barely containing her anger. "Ever since you met that boy with fake red hair," she whispered dangerously. You've changed, she repeated. "This is all his fault." "He saved my life," Ken told her. "Do you still wish I hadn't met him?" "You are not yourself," his mother told him. "Not since you met him." "Why are you treating me like this?" His father and siblings watched them silently from the other side of the room, none of them intervening. Ken went to his room after that, wishing only to be alone. He was angry at his mother, angry with all of them, with his father and siblings for not defending him, with his mother for constantly berating him. "I hate this," Ken glowered angrily to himself. This isn't fair. I hate this. I hate them. Why are they doing this to me? They're always talking together, Ken grumbled resentfully. My parents and her parents. I never realized until now how controlling they are. They don't understand it all. None of them do. I don't love her anymore. I don't know if I ever really did, but they're still trying to get us back together, even though she hates me now. Yup, Mustang said casually, sitting opposite him at the table and slurping loudly on his milkshake. Girls do that. They're very emotional, I hear. Not that I'd know myself, mind you. He sat back, staring with bored eyes up at the ceiling. He had paused in slurping through his straw loudly to speak that sentence, before continuing to slurp again. He paused. Isn't this the coffee house you visited with your girlfriend? He wondered aloud. So? Ken shot angrily. Are you even listening to me? This is weird, Mustang said, ignoring Ken as he gazed about him with narrowed eyes, taking in every detail around him, before his attention returned to Ken. Hey, this is kinda like a date. You're not falling for me, are you? Huh? Ken glowered at Mustang, knowing somehow he would say something like that. You wish. Because I wouldn't mind if you were, Mustang went on, looking at Ken with a seductive glare. I actually find you kinda handsome. Ken narrowed his eyes. Why are you like that? He asked. Like what? Mustang asked innocently. So open. You always speak your mind no matter what's on it. And that time, ages before, when we first met and you kissed me, no one else would do that. No one else is me, Mustang smirked. It's like you don't care about anything at all, Ken went on. Why did you kiss me? Mustang shrugged casually. I just felt like it. Ken sighed heavily, slumping back in his seat, hand going to his head. Oh, Mustang, he said wearily. You only think with your cock. He froze suddenly then, realizing what he had just said. I don't know why I said that, he mumbled. Looks like you're changing more than you thought, Mustang told him. For a split second, he too seemed surprised by this outburst. The truth is, Ken began reluctantly, I'm jealous of you. You're so carefree, so free. I wish I could be the same. I wish I had your life. No, Mustang replied in a mumble. You don't. Why? You don't want my life, Mustang told Ken. Trust me. But you seem so happy. Aren't you? Ken faltered then. I never realized how strict my parents were, Ken mumbled. I thought I was happy, until I wanted something they didn't. If your parents really cared for you, they will accept you no matter what. No matter what. Ken frowned at himself at that, mulling these thoughts over. Why did you leave your girlfriend, by the way? Mustang asked. Ken began, hunching his shoulders and turning his head away. Didn't feel right. Mustang stared at him, adopting the same bored expression as before, and continuing to slurp as loudly as possible through his straw. My parents do care about me, Ken said absent-mindedly, more to himself than to Mustang. If I just talk to them, maybe tell them the real reason I left Alyssa. He bit his lip. I'm sure they would understand. I'm sure of it. They're my family. They love me.